Hello and welcome back to a very special episode of the Misfits podcast. It's another Spotify exclusive with myself, Fitz, and I'm joined with my good buddy, Swagger Souls.
Very good buddy.
Very
How
good
are
buddy.
you?
Best of pals, hanging out on the Discord call here, providing some
Absolutely.
quality, juicy, one-on-one entertainment for you during these COVID times.
Yes, sir. We can even, we could be more than good buddies.
You
Maybe
think?
I think we might be able to fall in love here, Fitz. I think we might actually be able to make a connection that hasn't been made before.
You're trying to go all the way with me, Swagger Souls?
Well, I'm not on the first date. I mean, let's get to know each other.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
Better.
I mean, there's definitely a lot that we do not know about each other despite being friends for so long. So I'm keen to get intimate here, Swagger. We could definitely.
I think we give the stands the ship that they deserve. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
We're going to do that. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We're going to do that by doing the famous 36 questions that will make you fall in love.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know if I am, buddy. I don't know if I am.
No?
Some of these questions are very personal, very intimate. So
Yeah,
I think that we have decided that we can skip some of them if they're.
Yeah, we're allowed to skip if we want to.
Yeah, so it might not end up being 36 questions, but needless to say,
relationships are all about consent, and if you don't consent to the question, you say no, and no means no.
No means no.
And that is fine. And
wow, I'm so glad that you know that right off the bat. Already, I'm beginning to fall in love with you, Swagger. Wow, what a charming gentleman.
Dude, you're making me blush under this balaclava. Absolutely, yeah, dude. All right. Well, I guess we just get started with the first question here.
Go for it, shoot.
Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want to have as a dinner guest? Who do you want to eat dinner with?
Man, that's it. I mean, like, surely you're supposed to say, like, you, right? Because we're trying to get to know each other. But obviously, that's not true. So, man, it's got to be someone famous.
We had dinner yesterday.
You got to. That's true. We did. Yeah. Swagger actually cooked me pasta yesterday. So, like, we're basically already a thing. Yeah. You want someone interesting. You want someone who's going to have a bunch of stories. I think I would choose Steve-O as my dinner guest.
Yeah? That'd be pretty cool. It'd be interesting.
I just feel like he'd be a good one. If you go, I'm sure I could probably think of a bunch of like good dinner guests.
Yeah, he'd probably he'd be an entertaining one. He'd put sriracha in his eyes, snort salt. He'd do something wacky.
I was going to say would probably drink a lot, but I think he's sober now actually. So
no, he's completely sober.
Maybe I can just get hammered and listen to him fucking tell crazy stories. Yeah.
I'd probably go with Elon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would definitely be a good dinner guest. That would be fucking.
Dude, I have so much shit to talk to him about. It'd probably be a long ass dinner. The food would be cold. I'd be talking too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat anything.
Yeah. I mean, plus, like, you would be spending the whole time just like teasing him about like how socially awkward he is, right? Like, you'd just be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Man? Like, what's wrong? Like, just relax." Like,
well, you see, yeah, that's.
Can I have some of that weed?
Yeah, I fucking, yeah, definitely Elon for me.
Okay.
Would you like to read the next question?
Sure. Would you like to be famous? In what way?
Fuck that. Fuck being famous.
Yeah,
no thanks.
Being famous. Yeah, I'm the same.
It's not my thing.
I absolutely would rather not be famous. Yeah, for sure. It's
I mean, you could be famous for something cool. I like to be famous for, like, I don't know, being the first person on Mars. Or something historic.
I wouldn't mind being famous
maybe,
just for, like, inventing something cool or, like, being known as the guy that did that one thing, but I don't want to be famous
like inventing the polio vaccine or a cure for COVID.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with fame is, like, fame really is only super cool if you're famous for doing something super cool. You know what I mean? Because if you're just famous for, like, something that's kind of...
dancing on TikTok?
Yeah, then what is it really? You're just kind of like a trend, and it's not real fame. So, I don't know. I guess it would be cool to, like, invent something or, like, make a really dope piece of music or something like that and be known for that. But who knows?
Something meaningful.
Yeah, something meaningful. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? If so, why?
I used to do this a lot. I used to, like, panic before. I used to hate calling people on the phone. I still kind of do. I definitely still sometimes I'll see someone calling and I have nothing better to do, but I still won't pick up the phone just because I don't want to like deal with this conversation. But I think that just comes with being a bit of an introverted person in general. But I don't really rehearse anymore. I know how to do it. I know how to say, "Hey, g'day, how you going?" Like, I know obviously what I'm calling about. So that's all I really need to go off these days. What about you?
I'd say yes or no. It obviously depends on the person. But like, if something's itching at me and I'm anxious about something, I'm gonna rehearse it 1,000 times, and I'm gonna rehearse it to the point where as soon as I pick up the phone and start talking, I completely fuck up like the first 3 words and just stumble.
That's the thing.
Like I get too in my head about it.
Yeah.
It's like when I told that story where I got really high waiting, and I was waiting in line with at a fucking burger place at my old college campus, and I'm waiting in line, fucking literally saying like, okay, I want a cheeseburger with Texas toast with lettuce with trying to like not be retarded stoned, and every single time without fail I'd go up and I'd fucking botch the order and stutter for like a minute.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing.
yeah, I should probably. Yeah.
You just fuck yourself
You
in
just
the long
get too in
run
your
by
head.
overthinking it. Overthinking is always bad.
Right.
And so when it comes to socializing, in my opinion, like.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that recently. A lot of overthinking.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's very good to know, knowing that I could potentially be falling in love with you. It's good to know, actually. Taking note of that one. What would constitute a perfect day for you?
Shit, dude. Relaxing, being with friends, having a decent time, not getting too fucked up. Probably like, it has to be like a day filled with meaning and constant like good news and reassurance and affirmation. A day with 0 negative vibes.
Yeah. Right.
A day that makes you beam. A day that by the end of it, you don't want to go to sleep and you want to keep the day going.
Or when you finally do crawl into bed to go to sleep, you just feel like that glow of like being like having a great day, being in the sun, maybe getting some fresh air, Yeah. I would say the same. What about like location wise? Like, where would you be on this perfect day?
Definitely not in my fucking house, cooped up like I have been for the last 6 months.
True.
But I don't know, man. Probably, somewhere different. Probably a beach, to be honest with you, man. I love the water. I love sand.
Yeah.
Fucking anything, swimming. Like beach is probably where I would have a perfect day.
Yeah, I would say the same. I'd say for me it would be back home in New Zealand by the beach, maybe somewhere on the Coromandel, nice and sunny, but also like some good green like mountains as well. Spent outside, maybe with like a significant other or a couple of friends.
Family, just sinking beers,
sinking a couple
weed.
beers, a little bit of weed maybe, just sunshine and just chilling out and good tunes and good company. Like, yeah, honestly, like.
Yeah, that really, it doesn't get better than that.
That's the best. That's a carefree day. That's just that's awesome. All right, question number 5.
All right. When did you last sing to yourself or to somebody else?
I sing to myself all the time. I sing to myself this morning in the shower. I sing to myself when
Same.
I'm doing mundane tasks, like,
Same.
like sometimes when I need to remember something, I just make a little song up about it. I'm a constant singer, or I just sing along with a song. Well, last time I sang for someone else, like I don't know, maybe on my Twitch stream or like I like regularly will sing a couple lyrics of a song if it's a tune's playing that I like, whatever. So.
The last time I sang was that last recording session that we had. I put on the auto-tune.
Yeah, so I got cranked up the auto-tune on this fucking mixer and made everyone's ears bleed.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna stop doing that. The age-old mistake of devolving into ear rape probably isn't the most pleasant thing to look forward to.
Yeah,
probably why no one messages me back.
There's gems among the chaos. I think you're overthinking. If you were able to live,
back to that question.
If you're able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, wait, what the fuck? You're living for another 60 years after 90?
So no. Say you're 30. You're 30 years old, and then from that point forward, you have another 60 years. Would you rather keep your body, or would you rather keep your mind?
Mind.
Mind, same thing.
But why? Because otherwise you're going to be 90 years old mentally in a 30-year-old body, and that just sounds like hell. Because at 90, you're bound to be already deteriorating quite significantly, right? On a brain level.
Yes.
And
usually,
you're maybe got another 10 years before you're literally like more or less a fucking vegetable. So
essentially.
I don't know. Like maybe it's different nowadays, but I think mine for sure. You know.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my mind. Nothing scares me more, and especially having seen firsthand people going through psychosis, what it's like to just lose grip of reality. And I could never wrap my head around it. I could never wrap my head around how, like, somebody's worldview can get so twisted where, like, their reality is something completely different than it was the day before. Like, that shit actually scares me. Like, not being aware of what the truth is or what has been placed in my mind subconsciously. And I'd never want to get to that point.
Yeah.
Ever.
Even just forgetting like family members, forgetting
names.
Like, your entire relationship with that person's just gone just because your brain is just forgotten the connection. It's terrifying. And it sucks for the people around you too. Although that being said, like you would be in a 9-year-old body with a 30-year-old mind, which would also be
but that would be pretty fucking sick. Because at the same time, hey, who needs a fucking body? By the time I'm 90, there will be fucking exoskeletons. Like,
True.
You know. True. Yeah, gotta look towards the future. I'm always an optimist.
Invest in the brain.
Tech is gonna, right.
All right, number 7. You asked me.
All right. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die?
What the hell kind of question is that? How can you have a hunch about how you're gonna die unless that you've like really angered someone in the Chinese mafia or something? Like, how? I have no hunch about how I'm going to die. Of old age, I suppose. Like, I have a hunch I'm going to die of old age in my sleep.
That is wishful thinking. That is very wishful thinking. I don't know, man. My hunch is that my death will probably not be my fault, which is a pretty fucking, I guess, self-centered thing to think. But I feel like I'm usually so careful and usually, like, so responsible with, like, things that are dangerous. And I take precautions and everything like that. But I feel like it's just going to be like an Uber ride, and the guy fucking, ends up getting into an accident that kills me inadvertently.
Right. So something completely out of your control.
That's my hunch. Is that it'll probably most likely be a car accident or, probably a fucking car accident.
I mean, isn't that like most likely for most people to be involved in a car accident at some point? Like.
Yeah.
It's probably a pretty likely way to go for most people. Do you get anxious very often when you get in Ubers or on a plane, for example, thinking about how your life's literally in the hands of the person piloting the vehicle?
Oh, no, not in a plane. Not in a plane, and not usually in cars either. Because, I mean, if you can't drive and you're driving an Uber, I mean, they have checks for that. But, it's just like, if it's a drunk driver fucking smashing into the vehicle and shit like that. You don't know. But I never get worried, especially on aircraft. I mean, that shit has autopilot. Airplanes are like one of the most safest fucking places to be honest with you.
Never really phases me either. Name 3 things that we have in common.
We're both white.
Okay.
No, seriously. Well, we both obviously enjoy games. We're both pretty funny, I hope. And and what else? We also have similar tastes in music.
Okay. I'm gonna go for the one that's the most obvious. We both smoke weed.
True.
I think that we're both quite intellectual people in our own ways, and we both like women, which is confusing because why are we doing a love quiz between 2 men? Well, maybe we're just exploring our options. You never know. Dude,
it's called a bromance. It's fucking 2020. You could be in love with your homie and not have a sexual relationship with him. I mean, like, come on.
True.
Come on, dude.
That's so true.
We're in a new age.
All right, question 9.
For what in your life do you feel the most grateful?
Man, good question. Gratitude is something that I've been trying to practice a lot more of lately because I feel like it's very easy to, especially when you like come into money, to like lose that sense of gratitude just because so much is convenient, so much is easy. But I definitely have been feeling very grateful for the people in my life. especially people like my family. I have a really solid like family life, so probably that I would say above anything.
Yeah, I'd say for me personally, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be in Australia, to be in a completely different country on a completely different continent, to be surrounded with people that make me feel like I'm part of a family, with people who I truly care about, who care about me. To be in a position where I can be independent and thrive and flourish. That's probably what I'm most grateful for is my position as it stands now. If you compare it to something like 5 years ago.
Word, yeah, pretty incredible change here. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? Ooh, that's kind of a personal one.
It is. And that's hard. Like, I feel like my parents did their absolute best. I have a very good relationship with my parents, and I mean, I don't think I would want to be. I think about it a lot when I think of my past and things that really bother me, or like things from my childhood or my early adolescence, shit that used to keep me up at night. But I've made peace with that like a year, 2 years ago, because I realized that if none of the bad happened to me, if none of the the struggles or the trials or the tribulations happened to me, then I might not have ended up in this position, which I'm so grateful for to begin with. And I think that everything that happened for a good reason, and that's really what gave me some kind of mental peace about even anything that I find disagreeable about me being raised.
Yeah, it's a very good
growing up
perspective, I think, because I mean, at the end of the day, really, all you have to go off every day, like, is the position that you're currently in, right? And there's not much point, like, dwelling on how the past has fucked you up in any way, because there's also like a ton of good that comes from it too. Like, you literally just have to launch off your current position in life every day and just keep going. Like, you can't change it.
What
you
is
definitely learn from it by analyzing it, but yeah.
I think the saying is that the present is a doorway to the future, or like a window to the future, or something like that. I don't know. I forgot the saying. I completely fucking forgot the saying. But it would have been epic, and I would have sounded really smart. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't know what I would change. I feel like I could have been taught a better work ethic, perhaps. But I think my parents have done a really good job. Like, my father's like a very hardworking person. But I don't think that like I ever was really taught like I don't, compared to a lot of people at least, like a really strong like that like constant pressure to like work, which I know is actually quite overbearing for a lot of people growing up. But for me, I think it was kind of almost the opposite way. Like, I worked pretty hard, and my education like was very independent, so I definitely had to make sure I was working. But yeah, I don't know. I wish I like got more like job experience when I was younger. Like, when I was starting from like 13, 14, I never had like a real job until I was 16, 17 sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't have a real job until 16.
Yeah.
Just about 16, 17.
Yeah, wish I did like a paper on
bus
something
boy,
like that.
bro. Bus boy then waiter. Yucky. Pay was good, but my coworkers were pieces of shit.
Yeah, but it's part of the, you learn from that too, though, don't you? You learn from that.
Dude, I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
I learned a hell of a lot from it.
Yeah.
No, it was a good experience, I guess. It was money. I was able to buy a lot of things that summer.
Well, this kind of ties into the next question, if you want to ask that. But we might have to rephrase this. 11.
Oh, is this 11? Oh, skip.
Yeah, I'll probably skip. The question was, take 4 minutes and tell your partner your life story in as much detail as possible in 4 minutes.
This isn't just between me and you. This is for all the fucking people listening on Spotify as well. And I don't think I want to get that intimate with them. No offense to you. No offense to you, but,
Yeah, mind your fucking business, Spotify.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Well, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one quality or ability, what would it be?
There are good guys, and then there are just okay guys. The are super. You can visualize.
I'd say maybe in person would be like the balance. You don't want it to be too OP.
And you can just tune in whenever you want and tune out.
What was that?
And you can just tune in and out, like, of when you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
listen.
You just, it's not like you look at somebody and you immediately start reading their mind. It's like you have to, like, I don't know, think of a magic word to say.
If you grew up with that,
read it.
like, it would probably really, if you learned how to, like, handle it and not go overboard with it, it would be a really good way to, like, narrow down your life into the people who, like, have good intentions.
Actually, yeah, they actually like care and aren't
like you would be able to confidently craft like the best circle of friends and like find like the best significant other for yourself as well. Like if you could just read minds.
I wouldn't abuse my I guess telepathy. It would be more so like it would be used in a way that would for good. And not for evil. But
you say that, but
you never
there's
know
malice
until you have
in everyone, Swagger. There's malice in everyone, and I'm sure there'd be some opportunities that would come up where you would use it for the wrong thing.
100%. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm a fucking patron saint. I'm just saying, like, I try my best.
Would you tell other people that you have this power, or would you just?
Well, they wouldn't believe me, so no.
Right. So you would just go your entire life having this power, even like when you're married. Like, what if you got married to a girl and she was your sweetheart and you knew that she loved you? Would you tell her?
I feel like by that point, like there would already be like a meme between us where like I can read her mind because we're so close.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't know that I could actually read her mind.
Yeah.
So it could be like a cute thing.
Cute thing.
Like
but in
not,
reality,
not
you
like
know
a
that you're technically
creepy,
deceiving her.
Thing. You know what I mean? What about you?
I don't know. I mean, reading minds actually sounds pretty cool right now. I don't know if I would probably have to tell the person I would marry though, that I could do that.
Oh, sure.
But how would that conversation go? You sit them down like before you get married, like, hey, listen, this is
hey,
crazy.
Bitch,
I know we'll be
sign the
dating.
prenup, and then I'll tell you my secret.
You're probably thinking I'm crazy right now. In fact, I know for a fact that you are. But I can read minds. No, yeah, I don't know.
It'd be easy to prove. It'd just be like, think of a word, and then you just say it to them.
Yeah.
Like literally anything. Like picture anything in your mind, and it'd be pretty easy to verify. I think it would only take like maybe 5 or 6 tries before they're really like, oh my God, you're a psychic kind of thing, which would probably, hopefully, be pretty hot.
Hopefully so. I mean, what if your wife starts wanting to use it for nefarious reasons though as well? Like, what's that guy thinking? Or like,
Yeah, but you would already know what she's thinking, and then you could be like, hey, cut that out before
knock it off.
Yeah, right.
That goes against the code.
Yeah, it goes against the code. You make up a backstory that like you're from a fucking clan of wizards or some shit.
This ties into the next question, which is, if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
Nothing. I'd break it. I'd fucking smash it into a million fucking pieces. I don't deserve that power.
What? So you're fine with being able to read minds, but suddenly when a crystal ball's involved, that's too gypsy for you?
Yes, absolutely. Way too jippy. Yeah, no, I'd smash that shit. I think, especially like, I don't want to. Well, maybe I'll use it like for the truth about myself, and use it like in almost like a therapeutic sense to like figure out what's wrong with me or what's right with me.
Yeah,
how my life is. But anything about the future, anything about that shit, absolutely not. I will not touch. Looking into the future. As far as that goes.
I would probably do it just to analyze like myself, right? And like who I am up to this point and what I need to work on, like exactly like how I basically use it as a psychedelic almost, just to get that insight.
Essentially,
But in like a raw, authentic sense, like knowing exactly what's wrong.
Probably break it though. Like after that shit, I wouldn't want to look at the future. Yeah,
that would definitely be quite addicting, wouldn't it? Or addictive, rather.
Yeah, it'd be a bit spooky. Well, how about this? Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time? And if so, why haven't you done it?
That's a good question. I have recently been dreaming quite a lot about getting into music production. But I think the reason that I haven't done it, because I have quite a lot of talent musically, I think, that I've never truly capitalized on in like a disciplinary sense. It's always been such a casual thing for me. I think the reason I haven't done it is just because I'm sort of afraid, I think, of just being another like YouTuber that gets into music. It seems like such a cliche transition to make. And if I was to do it and take it seriously, I likely wouldn't release anything or like really show anyone anything for a while, right? Because I'm gonna suck at first. I think really what it is, it's that fear of starting again, and that fear of learning something completely new that you're gonna be bad at. So it's
right.
So it's kind of like I built my career up to a certain point where I know kind of like what I'm good at. I know how to be like successful in this realm, and then it's like entering a completely new realm, which is gonna have many challenges ahead, many like difficulties, and require a lot of discipline. And I think just taking the first steps on that journey is the hardest part. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll fucking get around to it soon. But kind of been going through a tricky period at the moment anyway, so hasn't been the right time. But someday.
I'm not sure if I have anything. Oh well, I do. I've dreamed of like making like a game development studio for a very long time. I like being a game developer, being in charge of a team of developers, and
you
like
wanted that since college,
making
right?
games that I would be interested in. Yeah, during college, me and my roommate, who was like my next door neighbor, like all throughout my childhood, we both went to the same college to study computer science so that we could make a company together and make a game. But obviously life had different plans, and here I am in Australia. It's still a dream I have. It's still something that I'm very interested in, and something that I'd love to do. And I guess the reason why I haven't done it yet is because I'm too busy doing other stuff. And I don't, if the opportunity comes, I'll sure as hell take it. But for now, I'm pretty limited.
Well, that's one of the cool things about. Well, obviously you're in your 30s, but for me myself, I'm a young guy. We have all the time in the world, really, to do what we want. So, I mean, you might be 40 by the time you make your game dev studio, but that's okay.
I'm hoping by the late 30s. I'm hoping by like 37, 38.
Yeah.
I'll probably have like something like just starting, and then hopefully into my mid 40s, like I'll no midlife crisis. I'll just make fucking games.
Hectic.
So I think it'd be pretty good. All right. On to the next question.
What is the greatest accomplishment of your life?
Probably this right here.
Yeah, I mean, kind of hard to top, right? It's very clearly, a big thing that's happened to both of us. This whole YouTube career.
Yeah. YouTube, being in a YouTube group, like, being with friends that we met online and like lived together, and all the crazy shit that we've all went through, and everything. It is 100% like the greatest accomplishment in my life, like without a doubt.
Yeah. Hopefully we can top it. Hopefully we can make it some even cooler accomplishments down the line. But it's gonna be pretty hard to beat the like initial, I guess, like success.
Maybe I'll run for president in 30 years.
That's the dream, buddy.
When I'm fucking 60.
What do you value most in a friendship?
Loyalty and honesty.
True. Yeah, I would say honesty. It's probably the most valuable thing in any relationship, right? Is like communication, even when it's like a difficult thing to communicate. If there's some kind of issue or resentment building, it's very important to communicate that, I think.
Nip it in the bud.
Yeah, big firm believer in that. What is your most treasured memory?
A most treasured memory. Probably, I don't know, man. I really treasure the memory of MEO when we all took acid together. That was one of the best nights of my life.
Yeah, that was a very insane night, and like a very clear morning as well, right? Like, I remember the feeling after that night. I was just like so refreshed. Yeah.
The perspective really shifted after that. Like I really, before it was like, these guys are kind of like, like we're friends and everything. But after we all took that and had like our D&M like upstairs on that fucking cowskin rug and smelling the lemons and all that shit, like 100% like solidified my relationship with everybody there.
Yeah, I would say so. We're definitely overdue for another psych trip. We were talking last night about doing one ASAP, but we'll see.
Doing shrooms or something. We'll have to figure that out. But make a mushroom pizza. Yummy.
Yeah, mushroom pizza, is that the way to go? Does it change at all if you cook them?
That's how I did it. You literally just take a slice of pizza, you put the mushrooms in the middle, you fold it up, and you eat it like a calzone.
Got it. So you don't actually cook the mushrooms.
Yeah, well, you don't cook the mushrooms. They're just dried, and you throw them on, and then you just fucking eat it.
Maybe a nice psychedelic risotto or something.
Oh, yes. Something. Just crumble it. Make a fondue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be romantic.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds nice. It's a date.
Yeah. Well, this is followed up by what is your most terrible memory, but we could skip that.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
I wouldn't want to dig around through my repressed memories to fucking shoot it onto this podcast. So maybe we'll move on. Here, if you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way that you are now living? If so, why?
What an awful ultimatum to be given during COVID times. Because honestly, what I would do is I would travel like immediately. I would travel all over the world. I mean, fortunately, I'm in a position where I don't have a job to leave, right? And like I have money to travel. Like I could have the best year of my life, like right now.
Yeah.
So I'd probably just do that. I would just travel and
a lot of heroin, right?
Definitely towards the end, a lot of heroin. Probably final days, maybe a bit of meth. Just get fucked up, towards the end of it. Beginning, I would start out with lots of psychedelics, like get it, just kind of soak in a lot of natural psychedelic drugs, smoke lots of weed, and then progressively get into hard drugs as the final month approaches.
Yeah, and I feel like that's fair because you stay away from hard drugs because you don't want to fuck up your life and get addicted to something that is like that'll completely blow apart your entire brain's reward system.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're fucking gonna die in a year confirmed, and there's a timer, then why not? Why not experience absolute bliss?
Exactly.
Or absolute insanity through methamphetamine?
Or
why not?
Here's a crazy idea. What if you're told that you're going to die on this date next year, on this exact day next year, by some fucking dodgy monk? Okay. And what if like the monk actually had zero idea, but because you were so convinced by this monk, he was like, "Oh, I guarantee you, by like the last couple of days, he's gonna be doing meth. He's gonna be doing heroin, and that's how you die. You die from an overdose.
You die from the overdose.
In reality, you would have been fine, but because you just had it in your head that you're gonna die anyway, you actually caused your own demise."
Wow, that would be a great short story idea. And if anyone's listening to the podcast who wants to make that a short story, go for it. It's not, there's no copyright or anything. Take that concept, make something interesting.
Yeah. Pure hedonism. A year of pure hedonism, probably, honestly.
Yeah, just complete pleasure. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, next question.
What does friendship mean to you? I mean, that's kind of the same question as before.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same question. Just,
what roles do love and affection play in your life? Ooh la la.
Pretty heavy roles.
Yeah, I mean, affection's super important, right? Like, affection's nice.
Of course.
It's nice.
Affection from friends, your significant other, from your family. Love and affection is reassurance.
Yeah.
It's, it keeps you comfortable. It
Absolutely.
keeps you feeling like you're valued and that you're worth somebody else's time.
Yeah. Something that I think a lot of men are like deprived of in today's society is like affection, especially even just between friends. It's getting a lot better now, but yeah, it seems that some men are just fucking starved for it. It's
right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Alternate sharing. Something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. Share a total of 5 items. Oh, we get to share some positive things about each other. Man, fucking let me have a dig through the old bag.
Yeah, right. Do you want to start?
I think you're very conscientious, and I really respect that. I think that you're like a very thoughtful, kind soul. Yeah.
Look at this fucking guy trying to get my pants.
No, I mean it. It's good to see.
Oh, dude, I appreciate that. I appreciate your I appreciate, especially back in like the early days when like we weren't very close and it was all online.
Mm-hmm.
I always like appreciated the fuck out of like your ability to make videos, your ability to work. You're fucking, and you still are really hilarious. Your company is always welcome because it's always, most of the time, pretty much every time it's a good time. We always end up having a laugh, even if we're talking about something serious.
True.
So,
Thank you. Wow.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Hopefully I can get the old video making abilities back.
Yeah, I'm hoping, man.
We'll see.
Recording.
You're very handsome. I think you're a very handsome fellow.
Oh.
Yeah. No one else knows this, but I think you're a very handsome guy. It's a very positive attribute.
Well, right back at you.
Whoa, no kidding.
You're very good looking.
Oh, man. Appreciate that. I mean, you're hilarious. I mean, I haven't said that yet, so I'm just going to say it. You know, obviously, everyone knows it. You're very, very funny. So that's another positive one.
You're very good at communicating and bridging gaps between people in like our friend circle. You're very good at talking people, like talking sense into people if there's a disagreement. You're an excellent mediator. You're very good at bringing people together and squashing beef between others.
Thank you. That actually means a lot, that one. Man, okay, we've done 3. Okay, I actually had one before I started panicking. I actually think that your recent compliment actually made me blush so hard I forgot what I was going to say.
Hell yeah.
You're very I really admire your intellect. I think that you soak up knowledge and you have like a really innate like desire and keenness for learning. That's like very cool.
It must be autism. I give like 110% credit to autism right there. For sure, I wish I had some around in my brain. Well, I think that you're an excellent leader. You're a very, very good leader. People always listen to you. I don't know if it's because you're so fucking tall. Or
That's probably just the height.
But you know, you say something and people are more inclined to do it. And you have an excellent charisma and way to convince people to do things that normally they wouldn't want to do. And when they end up doing it, you know, it's never a bad experience.
Yeah, you kind of made me sound like Jeffrey Epstein there.
I just wanted to add that last part there.
You're an excellent manipulator.
You know, like you're a great leader in the sense, you know.
Thank you.
You know, you can show people, you know, ways of doing things that they normally wouldn't.
Oh man, that's the fucking best. Thank you, man. All right, my last one. I already know it. You're a great storyteller. You know how to tell a story. And you seem to relish the experience as well, which I think adds to the charisma of your tales. Is that you're very like emotionally you like throw a lot of emotion and power into the stories. Yeah.
Good. Well, because when I'm thinking of a story or when I'm recalling a story and telling it, I'm practically going through the memory, and the emotions that I felt during the memory are exacerbated through my speech. So I feel like that's kind of why is like the emotions just flood back. I can't tell a story impartially. I have to tell it from the point of view of emotion.
No, it's very engaging. It's a good quality. It's a good trait. All right, you owe me one more. You owe me one more. You've only done 4. I've given you 5.
Yeah.
Come on, anything.
Let me see here.
Come on,
let me really dig deep. Let me see. Because I don't want to just like be like, oh, you're so smart. You
I mean, I did that for you.
Me. Yeah, exactly. So I have to think of one that's kind of meaningful.
No pressure. We're likely scraping the bottom of the barrel anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I always admire. I've always admired you, especially during like the beginning. I remember like having this mindset, like very early on. When you started to blow up as I was blowing up, and you were always ahead of me, and I was always like, oh my God, like, you know, this is like a competition, like this is, you know, I have to compete, but you know, you were very, very motivating, and the competition was never like a negative thing. I never wanted to drag you down, and I never wanted you to fail. But I just wanted to succeed as much as you were succeeding. You know, you set a very good precedent. You set a great example for me to follow as a creator, as a, you know, in shaping my humor, in you know, growing me, in me growing you. I really don't know like what fucking trait I can pin that on. But I don't know.
Thank you.
Like that's just I mean. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop before I fucking put my foot in my mouth anymore. I'm blushing
so hard. Fucking, what a sweet thing to say. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
PogChamp, dude. Literally complimenting the homies for like 10 minutes straight there. It's
dude,
good. It's good to see.
That was pretty pogsy. Everyone should do that more.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you tell your friends what you like about them. It's a really good thing to do. It's a really good thing to do. It shouldn't be embarrassing. All right, well, I reckon we'll skip to set 3 here because the rest of them in set 2 are kind of cringe questions.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about your relationship with your mother?
Yeah, fuck that.
All right. So I guess we go to set 3.
Yeah.
Question 25.
Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling. So I guess it's just more like what we have in common, but we've kind of already.
We've already touched that.
So, what about this? Complete the sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share
a blunt.
Yeah, same actually. Could definitely go for that. I'm just gonna go with blunt as well.
Why don't you come over after? I could roll one.
Surely. Do you have blunt wraps?
I don't have blunt wraps, but I can roll a big joint.
It's not the same, is it?
No, it's not. I think it'll work.
Yeah, could be keen.
We can smoke my gardener's weed he just hooked me up with today.
Let's do it. I'll come over.
Yeah.
All right,
awesome.
27.
If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, which I'm assuming would be you, please share what would be important for him or her to know. Oh.
I have a massive cock.
I also have a massive cock.
Oh, dude, sick. Sword fight's gonna be epic in the living room.
Dude, we could dock so hard. We could like we could be like, who has the harder cock, and see who can like push each other's cock back into their body.
You know what? Second thoughts. I'm actually busy tonight, so tell your partner what you like about them. Well, we already did this. Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life. Do you have any good embarrassing stories that you're willing to share on the podcast? Fuck, I don't know if I do.
Let me think. I go like way back to like when I. No. I have to really think.
I'll tell you one. So I used to do karate when I was 13 through to 15. I did like a couple years of karate. Got up to my blue belt, which was 3 away from black, I think. But I was like 13 and 14, so it doesn't really count, right? It wasn't really like that level. But every day that we did karate, we would warm up for about 20 minutes, doing lots of like exercises, lots of like little things, lots of stretches. And there was one stretch where everyone was in a circle, everyone was on their back with their legs like spread, like pointed up, like for some reason, like doing some kind of hamstring stretch or something.
Right.
Full on ripped ass, like really loud in front of everyone. And everyone laughed. It happens, like doing yoga, like sometimes it just releases. Dude. But I was so fucking embarrassed. And
I also took karate when I was younger, and a similar situation happened to me, but I was in the middle of a grapple with a fellow classmate, and his face was right up against my ass, and I fucking let one rip.
Right in his face.
Yeah, he tapped out. I fucking won. I won it.
See, he's
it was
weak.
Pretty easy, but
he's weak.
I don't know, man. An embarrassing moment for me. I could tell you like an embarrassing phase I went through in high school where I wore a leather jacket. That's about it. I was just.
Why is that embarrassing?
I don't know, because it was fucking cringe. It was really cringe.
Well, it's because your high school didn't have uniforms, I'm guessing, right? Like,
no, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I mean, I was a fucking spurg in high school for sure, dude. I could probably tell you 101 stories of like stupid jokes I said or awkward situations I'd been in. But I don't know. I'll probably reserve that.
All good. The karate fought stories are enough. All right, that one's kind of cringe. I mean, there's lots of questions just telling us to ask, like, tell each other what we like about them, which is kind of weird because we've already done so much of that.
Yeah,
what, if anything, is too serious to be joked about?
Oof. You start.
In my opinion, it comes down to the room you're in. You got to read the room.
Yeah.
And when it comes to making jokes on the internet, you just have to assume that everyone in the room is there because they want to be in the room, and you shouldn't really consider anything else other than perhaps sensitive timing. Like generally not okay to joke about something or at least not a good idea to joke about something right after it happens. You know, you got to give intense or tragic situations time to breathe. You know. That being said, if it's real funny, then if it's funny enough, you can get away with anything, in my opinion. Like if it's really funny enough, but you better be fucking sure that it's funny enough.
You know, it's like the age-old. It's like the age-old rule. Like you can say the N-word in a joke, but you better fucking hope to God that it's actually funny and it's not for shock value.
Funny. That's right. That's right. Which is hard to pull off and increasingly difficult to pull off. Comedy also changes over time, I think. Like comedic trends, what's considered generally funny, it changes, you know, which is normal as well. Yeah. So I think it's terrible to look back on old jokes and criticize them because they're frankly from a different time,
right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Yeah. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, Jesus, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? Oh, that's kind of a personal one. Don't know.
Yeah, it's very personal.
Don't know if we can actually reveal
kind
that.
Of fucking horrible.
But, you know, let's just hope that we don't die this evening alone with no opportunity to communicate with anyone. That would really suck. What would even that situation look like? You just fall into like some quicksand and your phone's not in your pocket?
I would think maybe it's like you're choking on food, right? You're choking on food alone in your house. There's no one around. Your phone is dead.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything besides slowly fade into non-existence.
Yeah.
That would probably. Oh my Jesus Christ!
Rad.
Hey, if you're eating food right now, listening to the podcast, make sure you masticate, my friend. Make sure you're chewing. Make sure you chew it.
Always masticate, the homies. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be? Why? What would you save? What's your one item?
My computer. My fucking computer.
Probably 100%. Same. Yeah, probably same. Like,
dude, that's my hard drives. That's all the information I've been like collecting for years. That's like
terabytes and terabytes of hentai. You know, like I'm not gonna let that collection go to waste. Obviously.
Dude, all that porn I have saved in that folder, in like a maze of folders in my C drive. I can't. It's not going to waste, dude. That's the porn I paid for too. Those are rare pay-pays. Those are things I couldn't find streamed anywhere. That's shit I had to actually buy.
It's the good stuff you only dig into like, you know, once every blue moon. Like, all right, we'll go into the archives. Of old, I mean, that's kind of a fucked up question. I mean, the rest of the two questions are kind of personal, honestly. The question was, for those of you who are curious, of all the people in your family, whose death would you find the most disturbing? Which is kind of a shit question because you have to play favorites.
Everyone in my family, if any of them died, I'd find it disturbing.
Yeah, death in general is a very disturbing thing. Very unsettling reminder of not only your own mortality, but the mortality of those around you. So
yeah, your parents, your grandparents, everything.
Kind of fucked up to choose a favorite. And then the last question was share a personal problem and ask your partner's advice on how she might handle it. But I don't really think that.
Yeah, hey man, this isn't Dr. K.
Yeah,
like, you know,
we're not here to divulge our personal problems on the show, unfortunately.
Yep.
So that concludes our test.
That's all 36 questions. I think we went through about like 30 or like maybe 28 of them, but all pretty decent. You know, hey, look at me in the eyes.
I'm looking.
Do you feel like we're closer together?
I think so, buddy. I think this is a really great, nice. Yeah, I had fun today, and honestly, Swagger, good. I love you, man.
I love you too, bro. Come on, fisties.
All right, bro fist. Yeah,
bro fist.
Epic. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's the Spotify exclusive episode. Shout out Spotify. We love you guys, and make sure that you guys tell your friends that you love them too. Maybe send a compliment their way. You know, it's not to be ashamed of. Especially during times like this, everyone needs a little love and affection. So be good to each other, be kind. And
I also love Gamer Subs.
Oh, who doesn't?
That's besides the point. Gamersubs.gg, code Misfits.
Code Misfits.
You know, you might find some love there too.
Maybe you will. Maybe you'll get jacked up on Gamer Subs and have some crazy monkey sex with your homie. You never know what's going to happen.
So lit.
You never know what's going to happen. All right. Looks like we're going to Swaggers. We're going to smoke and hang out, and it'll be epic. So we'll see you guys next time in a regular episode. Bye.
See you guys later.
Hello and welcome back. Question was for the
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 16th. You know what? 16th ever offline TV podcast. 17th ever offline TV podcast. 18th ever offline TV podcast.
Use whatever audio works.
Mr. Editor, you know what to do. Just pick the correct one. Today we are joined by TSM Lena. Welcome.
Hey guys. Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Lena, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? And what do you do for a living?
Yeah, so right now I'm the president at TSM. I've been with TSM since, I think it's 8 years now. It's been since 2012, and right now I do everything in terms of recruiting players, entering into new esports, like the budgeting for when we're, like right now we're in the process of picking up a Valorant team. So I have to do all the budgeting in terms of the player salaries, coaching staff. If we're going to do a team house, if we're going to do boot camps, all these things need to be planned so that the business can, run properly and profit. So anything that relates to TSM business is a part of my division.
Yeah, like scouting. I believe Myth, when he was on, he mentioned that you were the one who reached out to him when he had like less than 500 viewers, asking if he wants to be on TSM.
Yeah, actually, it's a really funny story because I reached out to him after I saw the clip of, the 1v1 with Summit, and he had, I think, like 300 to like 500-ish viewers at the time. And I remember when I reached out to him, he immediately I followed him on Twitter first, and he immediately followed me back. It wasn't until maybe a week later that I tried to schedule a meeting with him to talk to him about it. And then he was already a TSM fan. So honestly, signing him was kind of easy because immediately, just right when we first got on the call, he's like, I want to join TSM. It's like, okay, well, you should, take some time. And then I remember I ended that conversation with him saying, hey, so is there like, can you introduce me to your mom or your dad? I'd like to talk to them as well. And he says to me, oh, no, I'm good. I'm 18. And it was like,
wait, was he 18?
He was 18. I think he had just turned 18. Okay. But it was just really funny because he brought up to me that he actually was a Dyrus fan from season 3, and he was like watching TSM content since when he was in middle school. And at the time, it was kind of, for me, recruiting someone that young, I was like, wow, you're watching TSM when you're in middle school? Like, for me, that was like, a couple years ago, but it was like 5 years ago. So, yeah.
I actually have a couple questions in regards to that. For starters, how do you go about like scouting good talent? And then my second question is just like, does it ever just not work out? And what do you guys usually do in that case? Because I know, some organizations try to take the approach of just like signing a ton of people and figuring out that, some will. Are you guys more deliberate with it? Kind of, what's your procedure like?
Yeah, so I think usually nowadays esports is so big that when a new game comes out, we know on the back end, hey, Valorant is going to be coming out, Project A at the time, for a while now. And you can kind of tell, usually we'll work with the developers. We can kind of tell like what type of game it's going to be. And then you can kind of look at other scenes, usually pro players from other scenes that didn't really make it in their original scene. Like the Valorant case, CSGO pro players who didn't have the most success, they're probably going to jump over. So we're looking at people who probably have some type of competitive experience, because even though it's in another game, usually they're experienced in terms of working with a team, working in a team environment, working with an organization, and usually they are at the top level of their game overall as a whole, even though they didn't like make it through and become the star player of that genre. And then secondly, we of course look at the ladders. So I'm a huge nerd, and I also follow all the different online forums, so, like Reddit, all the different Discords. And so usually like when names pop up, like, oh, this person's popping off, usually pretty early on, and we'll be able to see it.
So do you guys mainly go for like players that are super good, or do you guys look at like content creators as well?
Yes.
Fed wants a chance.
No, I'm asking for a friend. Sorry.
So for the pro team, we're just looking at people who are really skilled, and word gets around fast on like who's skilled and who's not. So at the beginning of Apex, Dizzy was a name that blew up, and we actually were talking to Dizzy before he blew up as well. He ended up signing to NRG before we got too deep into conversations with him, but he was someone who was already a streamer, and he was playing. I know he played CS at a pretty top level, even though he didn't like make it as a CS pro. And so you can kind of see at least skill throughout a person's history of like gaming, as long as they're like broadcasting it. And in terms of content creators, right now TSM I think we've started diversifying and signed a lot of content creators that aren't big gamers. Yeah, Greek is a good one where he's he still games, but he's not signed for his skill in gaming.
Clip it, ship it, boys. Clip it and ship it.
Yeah, no, Greek is awesome. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Reddit and seeing people's names being brought up, Lena, your name has recently been brought up a lot, especially in the League of Legends subreddit. Now, which is kind of unexpected because you're more back end, right? You're the president, you're the brain, but suddenly a lot of league personalities coming out with videos talking about you. Very juicy stuff. I think we're gonna touch on it a little bit. Lena, I guess I'll just say what my perspective is as someone who's like just a viewer, just someone who's kind of seeing and listening to all this drama about Double Lift right now. So for those who don't know, Double Lift left Team Liquid to join TSM in the League of Legends esports scene. Pretty normal, like esports move stuff, right? People switch teams all the time. But everyone is saying, wait a second, this is against the rules. Isn't this collusion? This is poaching. This is conflict of interest. Because Lena, as I understand, you're currently dating Double Lift while being the president of TSM. So it sparked this huge discussion between everyone, a lot of accusation, a lot of rumors, a lot of stories. So I just want to ask, what's kind of your side about it? And how do you feel like people saying all these like really like not cool things about you on the internet?
Yeah, so I think that it hasn't really been a secret. First of all, it hasn't been a secret that Peter and I have been dating. We've been dating for a while now. And I feel like a lot of the community members, like we can't really stop what the fans are going to say. There's always going to be trolls and haters online and stuff like that. Like I don't really care about that. It's mostly the community members who we do work with. We're going to be in the same community for a long period of time. Like I don't think TSM or they're going to go anywhere, or Double Lift or anyone. And I just want us to all have like a good working relationship. But I think it's kind of hypocritical that they're not respectful about the situation. They never didn't reach out to any of us, TSM or Peter or anyone, for comment on anything, and they just want to start throwing these accusations around. And so just for the record, like Riot did do an investigation over before the trade was approved. Actually, there was actually a chance that it wasn't going to be approved depending on what they find in the investigation. And everyone from TSM, we like participated, we cooperated fully with the investigation. We sent everything into Riot. Like we don't need to answer to these online trolls, or I guess even like these just people throwing these rumors out, right? And then now I think it's kind of ridiculous that Riot came out and said, hey, they did the investigation, everything's been approved by the league, and it's still not really satisfying for them. And they want to keep on just talking shit. For me, I think if they had a problem with my relationship with Peter, they should have voiced it months ago when we first became public about the situation. I think that it's just convenient right now for them to bring it up to stop this trade from happening, because anything that they could have made this big news like 6, 7, 8 months ago, and I think that they would have more grounds to stand on. In terms of Riot, the conflict of interest is something that is an internal TSM problem. If the company wants to take on, I guess, the liability of having two pretty important people date, oh, also from the Team Liquid side, when we first started dating, Peter did disclose to Steve. He had a one-on-one meeting with Steve to tell him, hey, like, I'm dating Lena now, like before it was even public. So he did his part, and Steve knew about the whole thing. And in terms of like the poaching allegations, like we worked with Steve to on the deal. Steve even had a video come out today where he talked about how he approached Peter, and like they both knew that this was a possibility. From the league investigation side, they sent out a memo. It's pretty confidential. Like they didn't release the full investigation out to the public, but there were multiple teams that reached out to Steve about picking up Double Lift. And I think that it's kind of, I mean, you can have whatever opinion you want about Double Lift as a player, but it's not really any big surprise that, you know, multiple people want to pick up this guy who is like the best AD carry in the league for some time, for like a long period of time. Obviously, had a bad split this time, or the spring split. And then I will say, from our perspective, like we heavily pushed for the deal to happen because Soren, our mid laner, you know, really wanted to play with him again. There's a lot of team issues that we think that Double F coming on board was going to help solve, and that has nothing to do with me. So, yeah.
Oh, Pokey, you're muted on Discord.
Sorry, I was gonna say, I think the thing that, from a very much outsider's perspective, bothers me the most is, as you said, people seem to have like a massive problem with it now, but they didn't care at all for the last half a year, which I think is kind of odd because if anything, there would have been way more conflict of interest if he was on another team as opposed to you guys being on the same team. Or at least that's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that if at any point Steve was uncomfortable about the situation, you know, he would have told me. Steve and I have been friends before this whole thing went down for a long time as well. And, you know, Steve actually reached out to Peter and I to hang out together a couple of months ago before the COVID stuff happened. But I want to say, usually in a case of poaching and tampering, there's an injured party. In this case, it would be Team Liquid if we poached and tampered, and then they would go through Riot to try to, you know, get justice for any wrongdoings. But Steve willingly worked with us in the trade, so I'm sure now that the news has been out, you guys can see that from a Team Liquid standpoint, they were pretty committed to moving on with Tactical, and so I think that should be more than enough proof for anyone that thinks that there might be anything going on the back end. And it's not really up to anyone else to judge besides Team Liquid and Riot, honestly.
No, but they're dating. They shouldn't switch teams. I'm angry. Fuck TSM. No, dude, people just find anything to bitch about these days, especially on Reddit. I swear to God. But you know, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
Really do.
Got a question. If you don't answer it, we can edit it out. But like, I came across this picture on Twitter by Travis, who's like really good friends with Double Lift, right? And it's a picture of you guys, you know, being close. And when I saw that picture, I thought it's like,
I was there.
yo, if my bro did that to me, like when I'm with a girl that people don't really know about, I'd be so fucking pissed off at that. Like, did he ask you guys ahead of time? Say, hey, is it cool if I tweet this picture of you guys?
Yeah, so yeah, Fed was actually there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fed was actually there.
It was a good night.
No, yeah. It was definitely a fun night. Travis did actually ask us if he could post it, which was fine. At the time, I think that Peter and I have been public for a couple of months now, so it wasn't really a big secret anymore. I think I don't really like that it's being used out of context. Some of the things that have been floating around are like, you know, Dominate or Marks, you know, they shouldn't be using this for clickbait. And I think that that's just kind of trashy, to be honest. I think in the context of everyone went out, you know, in a group of friends, and, you know, people post like drunk photos of each other. It's not really a big deal, but to bring it and connect it to the trade right now, I think that that's just not very nice. Yeah.
One of the topics we have here is like the most ridiculous rumor or story ever told about you. Like we kind of touched on Lena and what she's been going through. Pokey, you're someone who has so many narratives about you on the internet that I can't really keep up with. You know,
Me
what
neither.
kind of person you are.
I find out more about myself every day.
Ruthless businesswoman.
Is there a couple or like one of them that you heard about yourself and you're
There's
like,
always one that has always stood out to me, both because I think it's just so out there, but also for some reason so funny to me. And I read this like a couple or many years ago, and it was just like someone wrote this long, elaborate story about how Skara fell in love with me and I rejected him, but he's just too nice to kick me out of offline TV and the house. And it's like, I love Skara, dude, but the thing is, there's never even been any sign that anything like that could have ever occurred. And nothing like that ever has or ever will. It's just like, it's the kind of thing where sometimes well, it's the kind of thing that sometimes I can see like, oh, if I'm playing with someone a lot or like joking around, this and that, people are like, oh, there's tension, there's chemistry. And then they start spreading rumors based off of that. But this Skara thing, it was just like so random, out of left field. And it just really solidified to me that people will really spread whatever ideas or stories they want, and you just can't trust random internet sources. Even if it sounds like elaborate and well made up, you know? Yeah. What about you, Fed? Toast? Any interesting rumors?
I feel like I'm so like open about my life that it's hard to like create rumors because like I stream so much now that like everything's kind of out there. You know what I mean? I don't really have a private life anymore. So like people will like kind of guess like what they think is going on, but then it's not always completely true. I don't know.
Oh, I do remember there being like random nights where people will like piece together that you're hanging out with someone and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like I can't even fucking leave my room, so I ain't gonna be hanging out with no one these days. So I mean it's just the internet, man.
True.
Like I feel like it's just a common theme.
True.
Toast, what about you?
Rumors. I don't get a lot of rumors. I don't lead a very interesting life. But what's always annoying to me is like since I signed the deal with Facebook, like a lot of people like talking about my Facebook contract, like they're the experts. Like, oh, he's getting paid X and Y. He can't do this. He's locked in for this amount of years. Like, and it's crazy because like. I did a Twitch stream a week ago, right? Everyone's mind was blown. It's like, wait, this is you're violating your Facebook contract. You can't do this. I'm gonna tell Mark Zuckerberg. It's like, what's going on? But it's like no one ever like I never talked about my Facebook contract. Like people just assume, oh, you know, he signed his life away. He's gonna be miserable. He's gonna be stuck there. But like. I guess I kind of want to come back to Twitch. Just like, hey, you know, I'm chilling. I'm happy. I can stream on Twitch if I want to. I just don't, you know, feel the need to right away. So, yeah, it gets annoying when people like just make all these assumptions and statements about like, things you know for a fact isn't true, and you try and ignore it, but sometimes you just gotta come out and kind of like smack them down a little. It's like, hey, you don't know jack shit what you're talking about, right?
Very true.
So will we see more Twitch streams from you in the future?
Maybe you know, next week, maybe next month. Who knows? But
Yay.
does fame negatively or positively affect your love life? Ooh. I mean, we're all like, I mean, Lena's going through it right now, but like we've all been through. Like Fed recently gone through his little shipping phase with Yuna, where you have like I saw some of the shit people are tweeting at you. People are tweeting at me. It's like, Toast, you gotta tell Fed that he's fucking things up. He needs to do X, Y, and Z. And you know, I've been through my stuff. Pokey, you kind of you're more low key about your stuff in general, and you can maybe explain why you keep
the shipping content hits everyone though.
Yeah, no, it's not really a choice at this point.
Does fame ever positively affect someone's love life aside from if they're just trying to hook up with as many people as possible?
Oh, wow, that
Why
was
you
my
look at me
point
when you
that
said that?
That's what.
What?
Did I?
You sure? I was just-
I think you're imagining things, man.
I mean, as someone who is very minorly famous, I think when I interact with female streamers or just like girls in general, but particular girl streamers, it's just like this. I just assume they're talking to me because they want like to collab or to like be friendly on me on
Get
a
some
professional
clout.
get some clout essentially. And I think it's bad because I think there are girl streamers who are interested in me, but they don't want to come off that way, so they can't really like talk to me.
Yeah.
Like even when I ask her, hey, you want to make content with me, like I only feel comfortable like interacting with girl streamers if it's just for content, because if my mind ever reaches a point where it's like, oh, I had a great time with her, maybe I kind of like her, it's this mental block. It's like, well, you only interacted for content, and that's probably what she's interested in. So it definitely like negatively impacts like what people's intentions are and what my own intentions
I
are.
have a question. Would you guys think that's necessarily a bad thing? Like I think clout. We use this word like a lot, but I think they're interested in you because you're successful. Right? Not because
I think people can be like, I think maybe Toast's point is that it's hard to differentiate sometimes whether someone is just like impressed or attracted by your success or your hard work, or if they're just impressed by the amount of fame or followers that you have because they can profit from it. And the worst thing is that sometimes people themselves have a hard time distinguishing those feelings or even like looking into why they are interested in someone. And sometimes even they don't know until you're halfway down the line of getting to know each other and it's too late anyways.
I think in the context of a normal relationship, because you don't have those added things to, I guess, complicate things, it makes sense that they would like you for you as they start getting to know you. And so I think a hard part is, even for Double Lift and myself, we knew coming into it, like, we're both someone, and like if this became a thing and if it became public, people are going to make these accusations about you. And that's just like unnecessary pressure for the relationship that I don't think you need to bring in. But I mean, from my like personal perspective with Peter, it's nice. Like when your relationship is going well, you feel like you do want to share it because it is nice and you want your fans to be happy for you. And it's also hard when we're going to go out in public, pre-COVID, and people are going to see us together and they're going to start rumors about it. So at the time, we thought we might as well just come out with it ourselves. I don't think that we ever expected it to become this big of an issue.
I have a thought I want to share with you guys that I've been having recently.
You only have one thought?
I was just waiting for Iman to just chime in when I said that. Okay, no. So part of what makes me watchable is that I'm very relatable. And part of my relatability is that
you don't want to get a girlfriend because then the incels won't like you.
Precisely. So
really?
It's a thought. It's a thought, and I just wanted to like, bring that up, and it's something I think about, a lot, because I feel like people do get invested, and this kind of ties back into like the whole shipping culture thing, and I find it like entertaining, to really root for someone, and yeah, I'm not sure how to like navigate through that thought. I don't know what you guys think. Toast, you haven't experience in this department.
I think because when you're single, you get away with way more stuff when it comes to interacting with girls. Like if you're in a relationship and like you want to do more dating content, it's like, hey, it's just for content. Like your girlfriend is probably not like gonna be okay
Not
with it. It's gonna be offensive, right? Like, or if you're just seeing a girl more seriously and she sees you online, it's like, yo, I got a girl lined up today, we're gonna play some marbles, and then you're like doing your awkward dating thing. I think that's what keeps at least for like from someone like me, from doing more stuff. But
Mhm.
if you're single, you can do it without too much guilt, right? Because if you're talking to girls, it's like, hey, we're just vibing, we're just doing it for content. So I agree in the sense that if you're single and you're doing like content where you're trying to find a girl, trying to find a girlfriend, talking to different girls, people are more invested in it as a viewer. So yeah.
Fed,
I mean,
I think you can be more than just shipping content. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I mean, for all of last year, I mean, I didn't really do anything, but any shipping related things, I don't think. But yeah, it's just something on my mind recently. Yeah.
But if you think about it, if
Mhm.
if you end up getting a girlfriend, you're kind of showing you can show the incels the light. They can get a girlfriend too,
Ah,
right?
yes, I am you guys. So this is
If
how you
Fed
do
can
it.
do it with that haircut, anyone can.
What the fuck?
Let me cut your hair, please.
Dude, it's nice. I like it.
I just think about that picture where the Play-Doh is being squeezed through like
Oh
a
my
spaghetti
god,
strainer.
dude, that's a pelon. They're called pelons in Spanish.
Pelons.
But
I think what
yeah.
you're saying makes sense, but it's also good to think like someday, hopefully, you'll find a girl that feels like she's worth cutting off that sort of content for. Like it won't even be a thought in your mind. Like you will
True.
like her so much, you will want to compromise however need be.
That's a good ass point. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
All right.
God bless.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I think for the ladies, one thing that girl streamers go through a lot when it comes to dating is that because you're a streamer, your dating pool, or like you're in the scene, your dating pool are gonna be guys who have some kind of following, right? You're not gonna meet like some random Joe at the library and oh, he's a history professor and you fall in love with him kind of deal.
That sounds
Chances
kind of
are-
nice, to be honest.
chances are the people you date are gonna be people with following, and it sucks because like no matter like what you do or what you say or the connection you make, people will at the end of the day say, well, she's just dating him because he's famous, or she's just doing it for clout. How do you kind of navigate that to like always feel like no matter who you date, people are gonna make rumors about you? And like the thing about, I feel like with these streamers, like if they're a big streamer, if they have a strong following, it's because they have attributes that make them attractive as a partner. It's like they're successful, they're hardworking. Like for example, Peter, like he's the top ADC, but you're not dating him because he's a top ADC. You're dating him because like he had the drive, the confidence, the trash talk to put himself as someone to be top ADC, right? It's kind of like a cause and effect thing.
Yeah, he has really, really good qualities that make him who he is, and like his fame, his following, his like success in his career is a part of. It's like the consequence of all of his actions and attributes together.
How do you handle that then? Like I don't even know if people could even really say that like you're trying to clout chase or something because you kind of have enough clout on your own. You know what I mean? Or is that something you've ever had to deal with?
Yeah, I would say when I first started dating Andy, I was a college student. Him and I are actually from the same hometown. There are a lot of really like shitty rumors about me. And also just part of like being a girl on the internet, I think has gotten better through time. It's a lot more friendly now than it was 8 years ago. And yeah, people called me a gold digger. People said that I was only dating him because of fame. Even now, people sometimes talk about like the reason why we broke up, like, oh, she left him as soon as, she was like done, getting her position at TSM. Like, no, Andy broke up with me, and I was very open up about that. And I think it's just people want to assume the worst of you if you're a female on the internet. I think that that's just a hard part of what we have to deal with. With Peter, it's not as bad because by the time that we started dating at the end of last year, like Iman is saying, I am already a known figure in the community. I myself don't really like my job isn't focused around fame or followers or anything. I work on the business side. I obviously do like to participate on the Twitter game and Instagram game, even sometimes stream on Twitch just for fun. But I'm not out here trying to get as many followers as I can because it's not a part of my job. It's just something I like to do for fun. And I think that for Peter's it's not something that he's trying to get either. Like dating me, having a popular relationship is not gonna, impact his job performance in any way. I mean, if anything, he plays worse because girls from LCS.
True.
It's a time commitment thing that you have to now be more smart about your time if you're in a committed relationship.
That's fair. For me personally, I think like that's the main reason why I never really wanted to talk about relationships publicly because I know the majority of the people that I meet will also be in the scene, and it's just not something that I want to impact both my relationship and my work, if that makes sense. Like I really enjoy my work. I never want to feel like I mean, I get enough trolls and hate as it is. I don't want it to be added on top of that because of more stuff that the public knows about me that they don't need to know about me, if that makes sense. And I also feel like it worked out in a really interesting way because I mean, I've been in the scene a long time. And when I first started, people would probably say that I'm clout chasing someone. And at this point, if I started dating someone, they'll just say that they're clout chasing me. So, how about you guys just don't know who I hang out with ever? And I think for me, my favorite thing is just like having peace of mind within the relationship that there's no external factors at all. And yeah, like if someday, if there was ever a world where like I started dating someone and their career changed drastically because of me, I feel like that's something that you would have to consider as well if you were to ever break up with them. You know, it just makes things complicated. I like a simple life.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Well, so from my perspective, Peter and I obviously we talked about like it should we become public. It was really nice in the beginning, honestly, to not feel like you have to hide anything. Do you think that there would ever be a world where if you were pretty serious with someone that it would be something that you'd feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah, I usually forget to add this, but I mean relationships are always like a two-part thing. So if I ever felt like, oh, there's something that like we're really serious about and for some reason my significant other really wanted us to be public and it like made sense, however we came to that conclusion, yeah, I could see that happening. And of course like if I was really seeing someone for that long and it's something that wouldn't change, then it probably would be something that I'd mention. So yeah.
Yeah. I've learned the lesson to kind of to not publicize your relationship until you're at a point where you're like really confident in it. Because like my last relationship, it started on Twitch. Like the very first interaction I ever had with her was on Twitch, and the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and like we talked privately, and kind of get to know each other like underneath, and that was fine, and we liked each other, but like the whole Twitch aspect or like the public relationship aspect kind of weighed heavily because at some point you just like, oh god, what if things don't work out? Everyone's gonna be angry or like they're gonna say stuff and like it's gonna get weird and you can't just get in your own head. So I think my one regret is just not having that time to develop a relationship privately and get to know each other like in a more not like so publicly scrutinized manner so that like I can understand my own feelings better versus just like that constant voice in the back of your head. But yeah, but what's the public gonna say about you guys because you started publicly from the beginning? So for my next relationship, I'll probably keep it super low key until like way down the line. Because at the end of the day, as content creators, if we fall in love with someone, we want them to be part of our work. It's like I want to play games with them on stream. I want to, like, if I'm IRL streaming or I'm vlogging, it's like, hey, be in my content. I want to show the world who you are, kind of deal. So for me, I want to reach that point with someone where I'm confident enough in the relationship to make her like appear in my content, I guess.
I do think it was a bit unfortunate with you and Janet because you guys did end up liking each other legitimately. It was just the initial circumstances that were something you couldn't really help and that are very difficult for anyone to deal with, really.
Okay, so stay private.
I feel like the first thing Fed'll do is announce to his stream.
No,
By the way, guys, I went on a first date.
Holy shit!
And here's how it went, and this is what happened. Oh, here's our second date.
They would think I'm farming caps every time. I tell them, hey guys, I want to date today. They're like, yeah, good one. Yeah, stop lying. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on like private or on content type thing. Like my mind's telling me.
That is actually such a good way to put it, because like your heart always wants to like showcase the positive stuff.
Yeah.
But you never really feel the bad until it's there, and that's really something you have to think about way ahead of time.
Because
and I think either decision is good as long as you're ready for it.
Yeah. Because like when I think about like this is my I guess work. It is my work. But what if like something happens in a relationship that could affect my work, and my work is like my core. It should be like 100%. This should be working well, and if both like just collapse, it's just like, oh shit. Fuck. So I don't know. I wouldn't want one to affect the other too much, if that makes sense. But yeah, something to think about. We out here toast. We'll pokey. We'll see.
I believe in y'all.
Yeah, I mean, we're famous, right? At the end of the day, we
Fed has a Rodschler soon. He's gonna find the one.
Yeah, I'm gonna find love of my life. I'm really excited.
So
I don't know if that's the right place to find the love of your life.
Yeah, because
last couple times I've seen that go down was not ideal.
Yeah, I rewatched Fitz's
Stop,
episode.
and he chose Katarina.
Oh, dude, no, you should watch the whole thing, man. It is like it aged like fine wine, or sorry, like rotten cheese, man.
Like milk.
Yeah, dude.
In their own ways,
yeah. It was a sight to behold. But I mean, I don't actually expect to find like love, but I think it's a good opportunity to like at least meet people. I like meeting people. You guys know me. I'm a very social person, so.
True. And I feel like the girls you would meet on that show are girls who would be willing to talk to you because you're such a big streamer anyway. Because I don't know if they're changing up the roster, but every time I looked at the majority,
it's the same roster for every guy.
Same girls, and I feel like they just want to stay on every episode so they can just keep getting like more exposures. Like,
ooh, that's actually. I mean, then Fed, you should know that if a girl is on it this time specifically for your show and she never has been before, that's a really good sign.
Oh, true. Yeah. But they're all gonna pick hosts. You already know.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
No, I actually think with you they'll all pick love, because that's the long-term host.
Long game.
Smart. We'll see though. I think it'll be fun. You know, I'm when it comes to women, I'm very confident in my ability to. Oh, how convenient! What a convenient call. I'm very confident in my ability to talk to women, and especially groups of women. So I think it'd be a good show. But yeah.
Yeah, you have a lot of experience with women who friend zone you.
It really does. Raj asked me, he was like, are there any girls that like we should include? And I'm like, all of our friends? Nah. I don't really know any other really girls. I mentioned a couple though, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's good content.
Okay. All right, yeah.
I know Fed always says the same thing, which is like, oh, it's just for content. But there's that 1% of him deep in his heart who is just hoping maybe it's not for content.
True
love. Y'all need to chill. Listen. It's
All
alright.
right. Final topic of the day, courtesy of our good friend Sean. If you had an unlimited budget, what show would you create? I guess it's just like, what kind of content would you do? For like, I imagine TSM, you guys do have a lot of budget. But have you guys ever thought about like, I don't know, there's stuff like reality shows, like I don't know, Terrace House, but what's it like in the inside of an esports team kind of deal? Or like all the drama, because people love
I,
like reality and stuff.
I think it'd be really hard to do because like no one really wants like their business practices, and also like when things don't work out between teammates, they don't want that stuff aired. But if I could create a show just for peer views, I think like esports or just like Twitch, kind of like Jersey Shore
Yeah.
or like Terrace House, but like
Yeah.
with different couples
Yeah.
on Twitch. I think that would be really funny to watch. But honestly, like it'd probably be pretty shitty for the people involved because you wouldn't let that stuff out.
You'd be surprised. I mean, there's reality TV of like anything. People like there's a lot of people who are happy to have that stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if
Out
I
there,
was a professional player, like someone like Double for Peter, like, and I wouldn't want those internal issues out there on blast all the time. But if I was like a content creator and I was down, to have that stuff out there, yeah, fuck it, dude. Yeah, let's do it, man. I think it'd be fun. I was actually gonna bring up a similar idea. If I had an unlimited budget, I would have a full-time writer and a full-time like I would want to do something on the lines of Terrace House, Jersey Shore, like you said, and The Office. Like I think that'd be really cool. Of like the Twitch universe, but I feel like right now there's just no one doing it. And Lily and I have tried writing like a Office skit, but it's so hard. It's actually
it really is.
It's so hard, man. But yeah, that'd be my thing.
Yeah.
Or do you guys you guys know the game shows like I don't know, just like survival game shows? Like what if you had Twitch couples and esport couples compete with each other on like Great like Escape or something, like something like that?
Yeah,
that would be really funny.
Like the island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think people underestimate just how desperate and hungry
People can be.
People can be for like fame, like struggling. Like when you think Instagram models, you think like super hot, skinny, millions of followers, but there are like tens of thousands of like Instagram models who are really attractive, but like they just have a couple thousand followers, and like people don't know like there's so much people who are willing to do a reality show, do a Terrace House, do a Jersey Shore. Like they would love to sign up to be on Jersey Shore because it's really dramatic, and it's probably like people who are not completely functional human beings, but those people make the best kind of content. Like us at Offline TV, we're too, responsible and wholesome. But like if we had no shame, I guarantee we could get way more viewers.
People who want to climb the ladder typically have no shame. Actually, that reminds me, I was scrolling through Netflix the other day, and there's this new show called Too Hot to Handle.
I watched the whole season.
You watched the whole thing?
Oh, wait, what's it called?
Too Hot to Handle.
No way. Okay, listen to the premise.
Okay.
So you get 10 or like 8, 10 really hot guys and 8, 10 really hot girls, and you bring them both on like a beach resort. So they're in bikinis and shirtless all the time. It's hot AF. They get whatever food, drinks, whatever they want, okay? And they all want to hook up with each other so badly. And then you say, oh, but you guys aren't allowed to touch each other, or else we deduct money from this 100K pot. But if you guys abide by these rules, you walk away with all the money.
They don't fuck. They 100% touch each other, right?
And like when I saw that premise, I was just like, it makes so much sense, but it's so dumb, bro.
Yeah, it's so vain. Like imagine these people signing up. It's like, oh, you're a super hot contestant. We're gonna put you on an island with other super hot contestants. You want in? And like
they're like, yeah, hell yeah. First day there, and you're like, you can't hook up, and they're like, You want the 100K or not?
Yeah, you gotta have no shame if you wanna make it in the biz.
Of reality TV, yeah. I think what I would do is something kind of like something between a streamer camp and a reality TV show, where it's
Streamer
like
Apprentice.
something like that, where it's just like a group of people, preferably single and or in a couple. We can't have full couple or and they're all like trying to kind of make it as content creators, and then you have people like coaching them. I think because it's like, there'll always be that reality TV drama if you group a bunch of people together. But on top of that, I think it would be really interesting to see people grow online and the kind of difficulties or positive things that come from it. I feel like there is nothing that's really showcased that like behind the scenes. Yeah. That'd be my idea. Maybe Offline TV will make a reality TV show. We've actually talked about it.
We did, because
Yeah.
we have like a spare room in the house. Like we can literally, like I've said this before, and I'm getting so much DMs from people who hasn't even started content creation saying, "Hey,
Oh,
Toes, heard you
no.
talking about it on the podcast. I'm your next project." And it pisses
I'll
me
move into
off.
the house free of charge.
Yeah, it's like I'll give you 50% of my earnings. Like they're doing me a favor by offering more. It's like, dude, I can pick anyone off the freaking streets. You gotta give me a reason to pick you, right? And yeah, so if you're watching, you want to be a big, famous, whatever, and you want to join Offline TV, at least do something first before you hit me up.
Create a portfolio at the very least, i.e., your online channels.
Yeah.
That's actually super. Oh, sorry. That's actually super funny because I get people, messaging me all the time. Hey, I want to join TSM. You need to recruit me. I'm gonna be the next big thing. And it's just like, well, they don't really, they don't stream. Like they're not on any ladders. Like we recruit for like competitive games too. So like we expect you to be like challenger, or like top 50 challenger. And it's just like, oh, I'm silver. I'm gonna be the next big thing. So it's just like
I actually applied to be TSM's editor about 4 years ago.
Wow.
But like we said, I didn't really have anything to show. I just was like, hey,
Aww.
I can do this. I mean, I had like little small things, but I don't think it wasn't anything profound and really, yeah. So yeah, you really gotta do something first, and then showcase that, and then yeah. Do you imagine Fedmeister TSM editor? We could have.
I think
you would have gone from editor to content creator there too, I'm sure.
I don't know. We'll see.
You're better in front of the camera.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it here at OTV when Fed is trying to move from editor to like content creator, and like the general sentiment is like it's easier to find a good editor, than it is to find a good camera talent, right? Because like good talent is rare, but editor, you can. There's a lot of editors out there, and it's easier to like fix them and guide them.
You can create an editor easier than you can create talent.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Do you really believe that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's because I wore a lot more hats than just like editor. I also had like a vision, if that makes sense. And it's hard to like teach that vision or like process to people, or like way of thinking, because a lot of editing is like instinctual, and it's really hard to like
teach that,
like
or give someone that.
Yeah, like because a lot of it's comedic timing, a lot of it's like your internal library, stuff like that. But yeah, I know. I think you're right, Toast, for sure. How did we get here?
TSM.
Right. Yeah, you're right. TSM.
Lena, do you reply to like all these? How often? I guess percentage wise, when someone joins TSM, it's them asking you versus you asking them. Like, do people apply and say, "Hey, I want to be in TSM," and you check them out, and you're like, "All right, sure, come on in."
I would say 90% is us reaching out. There have been a few cases where we would send out a tweet, hey, we're recruiting for this game, and we would have like people apply. And usually we have some intern go through all the pretty shitty replies, and also Peter in the background.
Hi, Peter.
Also,
He waved.
Yeah, and so what was I saying? So
you have people going through the
Reach out
applications.
some. Oh yeah.
yeah. And so usually we have like an intern go through the initial application process, because you're gonna get a lot of spam. There's a lot of times there people they're like 12 and they just want to shoot their shot.
Mm-hmm.
But with our Apex team, we were actually able to find them through that initial questionnaire that they filled out.
Nice.
And if you actually have, like you guys said, if you actually have a portfolio, have like a Twitch channel, have some YouTube videos up, we'll actually go through them. It's just most of the time people don't even have that.
Damn, your Apex team is actually fucking insane. I don't know if you guys follow it. It's I think the best team.
Who is it?
Like,
I actually don't follow the Apex scene in general too much.
It's Aberlily, Imperial Hell, and Reps. They're actually so fucking good, dude. It's insane.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're the best team in the world right now. So
by a long shot.
And they were the ones who applied, right?
Yeah.
To the tweet.
Yeah, the initial roster was actually Thump, Imperial Hal, and actually forgot who the third was. But then we ended up going through a few different roster changes for where we're at now.
Yeah. Oh, so it wasn't so, like they didn't all three apply like together. It was just like, oh, holy shit, yeah. That's crazy.
Okay, and with Valorant, being so poppin', still in beta though, like not even everyone has it yet. I'm sure we have a few viewers who are players of Valorant. It's like, all right, Lena, how do I get on the TSM Valorant team when it comes out? Am I supposed to grind the ranks? Do I hit top Valorant and
that
hit
always
you up?
helps.
Yeah, like ranked is supposed to be coming out, I think, tomorrow, and so if you are looking to join any type of pro team, you're gonna have to grind ranks. And I think the other thing is being realistic with there's a lot of the times people who are too young to be a part of any esports team, but they'll still apply. People who
what would you say is too young?
So Riot has a rule where you have to be 17 or older to compete. And so Fortnite was, I think, 14 and older. And so each game will have their own rule. I think like we do have so many kids who like joining TSM is their dream, but they want to drop out of school to do something like this. And I would just say that's not realistic. And just wait till you're a little bit older and then see if it's realistic for you. Like I think Fortnite had a really terrible scene where Iman, you're a part of the scene where there's so many kids just dropping out of school to try to make it. Yeah.
Really
there was no like age thing for Fortnite.
Yeah, it's 14 to compete, but a lot of kids dropped out of school to try to become a Fortnite, and so yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I think I've heard of people quitting their jobs to be like streamers.
But when you're like 14, you kind of got to make it through school first.
Yeah. It's like if you lose your early childhood education to play video games, that really
and it might not work out.
You up. Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know. Do you guys think it's kind of harder to go back? Or like, I feel like it would feel worse to go back when you're young versus if you're in university and you kind of skip out on a year or two. I feel like everyone's kind of like 20-something in school, but
100%.
It's much more impactful when you're much younger.
It's like the foundation of like your, I don't know, your personality, like your beliefs, like all of that is like shaped and formed in like your high school years. And then...
But also on the other hand, I think Soren Bjergsen like didn't finish high school or even like go to high school. He's doing fine.
Okay, he's the exception. This man like
yeah, but that's the thing. There's like one exception, and then there's a lot of other situations where it doesn't work out, and it's a lot riskier than it needs to be. I do think a lot of people, even if you don't make it right away when you could have, if you still have that potential within you, like you can make it down the road when it's a bit less risky too.
Yeah, I think for pro gaming versus content creation, it's just about being realistic with where your skill set is at. I think Soren is someone who he's always been insane at the game. He's killing the solo queue game before he was on a team. I know when he turned 17, he joined his team in EU, and then they were 07 before him, and then they went 7-0. So it's just he knew he was good. People knew he was good. For him, the risk wasn't as big as someone who is like diamond and trying to make it, because I think the talent's just not really there.
Are you saying I can't be a pro player?
Oh,
'Cause
you
I'm
can do
diamond.
anything you want.
Thanks, Lena.
All right. Well, so there you have it, kids. Don't drop out of school. But
Yeah.
if you are really, really, really good and
If you're
17 and
number
above,
1 on the ladder, then you can drop out. But everyone else, don't do it.
exactly, you hit number 1 on the ladder. It's open a Twitch channel, and I guarantee you, viewers are gonna
Easy.
come flooding
100%.
in. 100%. So, like, all you future Valorant pro players, a lot of you have it in your Twitter like descriptions already, even though the game's not released. That's how you get noticed. But I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you so much, Lena, for joining us. Would you like to do any shout outs? Take it away.
I'm good.
Go
I've never done
follow
this
her.
before,
She's
but
so cute. TSM Lena. Just Google her. You'll find her on whatever you need.
She also streams sometimes, maybe.
very occasionally.
It's quarantine.
Yeah.
There's nothing
Yeah,
else to
well,
do.
too.
Twitch
But
viewership's
no,
all the way up.
thank you guys so much for having me. I guess shout out to Offline TV. I'm not really here often with these guys on camera, but I would say I've been pretty close friends with Fed and Iman for a while now. So yeah, shout out to them.
Yay. Thanks for joining us. Anything else we got to say?
This is on Spotify. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to say that at the beginning, but we are unprofessional streamers here. But yeah, check us out on Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
On the next one. Bye.
Hello, everyone.
So I stream like 9 hours plus a day. And when
So I said I would donate
Hello, everyone. But
50% of my merch profits to charity.
Mhm.
I hadn't decided what, but my merch guy knows Dr. Key's wife. And they asked, you want to help out his startup mental health coaching thing? And originally it was going to be more, but I wasn't sure like what this was. And like, it's like risky, I think, donating to startups. I wasn't like sure. So I'm like, I'll donate like 3,000 for now. And like, let's see where it goes. And that was it. I thought that was it. And then he mentioned it on LSF, and now people are like, wow, she's so nice and blah, blah, blah. And I don't feel like
she passes the good person
Oh, I
test. That's
didn't
the
like that. I
number
didn't like
one
that.
comment.
I didn't like that.
Lily Pichu is a good person.
No, okay. I don't think it's bad to announce you're donating. Then you're like influencing other people to donate too, right?
yeah, like that time I donated $20,000, which is $17,000 more than you, Lily, to charity. But it's not about.
Competition. Everyone can help.
No mention of it on her social medias. She passes the good person
Yep.
test.
Oh.
Well,
I
because she
mean,
failed.
I think it was a very nice thing to do, in all seriousness.
I thought you guys have not talked to Dr. K, right?
Never.
But like I talked to him twice, and both times I gained like a lot of perspective afterwards. It was actually very helpful.
I think he's one of the he's really interesting. One of the best people on Twitch.
He's very smart. Did you guys know he's an INTP?
That's why she donated. Now it all makes sense.
Anyway,
yeah.
wow, I sure am hungry.
Oh,
Oh man,
Okay.
I'm so hungry right now.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh man, I'm so hungry right now.
Why we haven't started? Hey everybody, welcome to the 18th ever Offline TV podcast. And Lily, do you have something to say?
Oh man, I'm really hungry right now. I forgot to eat before the podcast. What should I do?
I don't know. What should you do, Lily?
Is there something that we can order food with since we're not going outside?
I don't know. Is there, Lily?
Well, we're happy to announce this podcast that we're partnering with Postmates. That's
Postmates?
right, Postmates, the go-to app if you want food delivery with quick service. And they're giving everyone $100 in delivery fee credit for your first 7 days free.
Wow, Lily. You have food there. Did they deliver those food to you? What did
Speaking of which,